Welcome back to the Tracy Take. I am Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and today we are breaking down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2024 NFL Draft. All of the selections that they made. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great weekend, and I think the Bucs did a good job here. But before we break this down, if you haven't already, be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the Tracy Take to get notified when new videos come out. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the start of the 2024 NFL season in September. So any help is greatly appreciated. So be sure to like and subscribe. And Ryan, starting off with Graham Barton here, getting center. It was funny too. I think a lot of the highlights from Graham Barton are like had him at Duke playing left tackle. But I think that makes me like this pick even more. It's just how versatile he is. But if he's a more natural center or just a good offensive lineman in general, placing Ryan Jansen, like boom, I think getting him here at 26. I think we had mocked. Actually, I think we got this mock correct. I think we'd mock Graham Barton going to Tampa Bay. But if it wasn't going to be him, I think JPJ would have also been great as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's to me, he was really athletic there at Duke, and he did suffer an injury. I think about 4 or 5 games into the season, so his college career was cut short, but does project best to be that center. Going to be a ferocious blocker, a good finisher in the run game, good strength in pass blocking as well, and kind of stopping some bull rushes. So I like this fit, and I think he's going to be a plug and play replacement for Ryan Jansen.
Yeah, and the versatility that he offers as well. If there's a better guy that's center, like hey, it's going to be better for you to be a guard.
Yeah,
perfect. All right, and so they probably will put him at left tackle. And I think that's Tristan Wirf's spot for the rest of his career.
Yeah,
so,
Cody Knox
everybody
at
else,
right guard. I forget who's the kid they have at right tackle now.
Luke Gedeke.
Yeah, Luke. Yeah, Luke Gedeke. So like maybe left guard or center is probably the two top spots there. That he could fill in, mainly center because Ryan Jansen, I believe, is no longer with the team. So
he's not. Yeah, he's not. He had, unfortunately, he tried to keep coming back, but he had those leg injuries, and so I'll confirm that right tackle spot here in a second. My computer, our lad's just been going so slow lately, so y'all need to figure that out. But anyways, let's move on though to their second round pick here. Chris Braswell, edge rusher out of Alabama. Really like this pick overall. So they're kind of set on the interior with Vita Vea that's there. So I think you go get an athletic guy like Chris Braswell, put him on the outside. Might need some development. Probably not anything super flashy like how we saw like with like Will Anderson or Dallas Turner or like even like a Chop Robinson when you see like the physical intangibles. But I think he's just going to be very consistent for the Bucs week in and week out.
Yeah, and I think that's like they got Kalijah Kancey last year, who had a good rookie season. So you go add another weapon there, especially I believe Shaq Barrett is no longer with the team, and so you go get an outside linebacker type that can provide pressure from over outside the tackle. I think that's going to be a really solid value there. So all in all, like the first 2 picks, I think are really solid. So. They had needs, they identified them, and they addressed them with players that were probably expected to go right around those ranges. So let's move on to their third pick here with Tyke Smith. Oh, third and fourth pick, Tyke Smith and Jalen McMillan. Both of these guys are really good players. To me, Jalen McMillan was like a second or third round guy, and they got him here all the way at the back end of the third round. I think is good value. You throw in Mike Evans coming back, Chris Godwin coming back as well. They have Trey Palmer. He's going to be the fourth guy until it's time for one of those first 2 guys to retire, and then he can step up and make a big impact.
Yeah, no, Tyke Smith for the Bucs, kind of just an overall transition to secondary, and like moving on from Carlton Davis and a couple other guys as well. And so I think getting him here at 89 is great value. But then to your point with Jalen McMillan, so re-sign Mike Evans, for another 2-year deal, but just he is just on the latter half of his career, unfortunately. Chris Godwin, unfortunately, hasn't been the receiver since his ACL injury, but he's still a good receiver. I think, to your point, though, get a guy like Jalen McMillan here, can go and develop him. He had a great career at Washington. And so I think getting him here at 92 is honestly kind of a snag. And so far, not really a pick that I disagree with the Buccaneers. As we kind of talked about, like Buccaneers are just a good team. There's not too many spots. Like they had a lot of positions of needs, but just because they have just a lot of good players, not a lot of great players outside of like Mike Evans and Vita Vea, for example. But let's wrap this up here for their day 3 picks. Only 3 day 3 picks, but they go and get a guy like Bucky Irving here at pick 125, a good change of pace back out of Oregon. He was part of a run. I don't know if you remember, Ryan. There was like 3 or 4 Oregon players like taken in a row.
Yeah, Brandon Dorless and then Kyrie Jackson, I think, were all.
Kyrie Jackson was one, and then there might be even one other one. Let me go and see this here.
Yeah, but Bucky Irving, undersized guy, going to be a change of pace from Rashad White, who is definitely like the primary 3-down back, but going to be quick. Like, I don't say fast because he didn't test super well out of the combine, but very, very quick. Hard to bring down because he's so, like, I believe he's only 5'7". I can look. He's 5'9", 192 pounds, but plays very low center of gravity, very shifty, kind of hard to bring down. And so I really like this pick. Good value, good receiving back as well.
Yeah, and so and then wrapping up the draft here with the final 2 picks from the final 30 picks or so. Elijah Klein and then Devin Culp as well, addressing that offensive side of the ball. Just trying to beef up that interior of the offensive line still even more than just get another pass catcher as well. So they do have Cade Otton at the tight end, but you never know. It's just trying to get just some more offensive weapons out there for Baker Mayfield and the team. And so we ended up putting a grade on each of these teams' drafts here. And Ryan and I, we were pretty much about the same. I was maybe a little bit higher on a lot of teams' drafts, so my average might be a little bit higher. But I think that the Buccaneers had an above average grade. I think if you look at the Buccaneers roster, as I've said already, it's very easy for them just to go best player available on whoever's on their board. Don't need to really overthink it. And so I think they had a good spread of players, address the interior of the offensive line, which I think was probably their biggest need. And so getting center, and then even addressing the interior with the last pick as well, just get another body.
Yeah.
But then you go look at the rest of their picks, the second last pick. My apologies, but they addressed the defensive line and the secondary again, and then got some offensive weapons on at each skill position spot. So yeah, I think in general, I like the players that they got, and I thought it was just an overall good draft strategy.
Yeah, and that for me, I think you look at a lot of the players that they drafted, and like they took the players exactly where they were supposed to be taken. Like there was not like Jalen McMillan, I think, was the only one that really fell, and I think part of the reason why he fell was because he had some injuries at Washington this past season that held him out of a lot of the games that were there. And so I think that is kind of an interesting pick there to see, is he one healthy, but then how well can he play? Because in 2022, he was the main number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think they took the players exactly where they were supposed to be taken. I think the Jalen McMillan falling is probably why I give them like the above average grade of a B+, because for me, B- to a B was that average range, right? Yeah. Being a B+ is definitely above average to good, honestly. And so I really was a fan of this draft.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2024 draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? None of that. We will see you guys.